Good morning, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 15th of August, 2013. Tropics starting to get more active now, as expected this time of the year. Right on cue, the August 15th time period from here on out, traditionally known as the Cape Verde season. And we do have a Cape Verde tropical cyclone. This is Tropical Storm Erin. Those are the Cape Verde Islands. This is Cape Verde right here on the west coast of Africa. You notice a few things about Erin. Very well established outflow channel here on the southwest side, but the northern semicircle of the circulation kind of dry and void of any cloud cover. That due to the dry air that still is hanging on out here. I'll show you a water vapor shot of that in just a moment. The forecast track, thought I would show you our track that we use over on our client services site at HurricaneTrack.com, where we plot the forecast track and current position over tropical cyclone heat potential maps. And that shows us the true amount of energy in the ocean, not just the surface of the water being warm, but that warm water extending down fairly deep. That is called ocean heat content, and how much of it is there. Well, the higher up on the scale that you go, the more ocean heat content there is. And right now Erin is located here over the far eastern Atlantic, over low end ocean heat content values. But you see the forecast track takes it here over basically an area where the water right along the surface is warm enough, but below it's not. It's cooler, and so there's very little to no heat content to speak of. If it can get past 50 degrees of longitude right here, obviously, if it can make it that far west and stay intact, then the ocean heat content values start to go up to the mid-levels here. And of course, if it were to make it all the way over to the Western Caribbean, or if anything were to go through there at all, that's where the heat content values are almost off the scale up here. This area contains the warmest water in the Western Hemisphere. Pretty amazing. If you think about it, that it happens to be in the Caribbean Sea. That's why we can get really powerful hurricanes there. You think about Wilma back in 2005, Hurricane Mitch back in 1998, taking advantage of that ocean heat content. So right now, Erin's going to have to deal with a little bit of marginal sea surface temperature considerations. Then those heat content values start to increase if it can survive that long. Forecast plot models from Hurricane Analytics, our colleague over at Hurricane Analytics, Mike Watkins, providing these for us. Pretty good spray of tracks for Erin, I think, and it goes without saying that the weaker it stays, the more west it will track, because it'll be steered more by the low-level flow. There's pretty decent ridging all across the Atlantic right now. A few areas of weakness in that subtropical ridge. So if it were to really get its act together and become a hurricane, it could probably move more to the northwest, because it reaches higher in the atmosphere, so it's steered more by the larger weather patterns than the low-level trade wind flow. You also notice on this map, and I've yet to mention it, 92L, and there's a reason that I haven't mentioned it much, because I don't think much is going to become of it. We'll take a look at that in just a moment in closer detail. First, the water vapor shot. This is where Erin is located right here. And this is a gauntlet of dry air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that Erin's going to have to go through. This is sinking, drying air that is not allowing for upward motion. It really stifles tropical cyclone development, and that's going to be the case, it looks like, for Erin as it moves into this environment. If a cyclone can form south of 15 degrees of latitude, and somewhere between there and 10 north latitude in this zone right here, and stay there, let's say a track like this, it's going to have a much better chance. But even out here, there's that dry air sort of bleeding down into the deep tropics. There's almost no escaping it. Still about 10 days away from this really starting to let up. Climatologically, you let off the gas, if you will, on the dry air intrusions that come off of Africa. Even though today is the traditional start of the ramp up in the hurricane season, August 15th, that Cape Verde season begin date, if you will, that a lot of people talk about, we're still a couple of weeks away from conditions really being prime, available, what's the word I'm looking for, The conditions becoming conditionally unstable across the tropics, everything in place for a very active season. Still a little ways away, so that we have Aaron as far east as we do, I think is still yet another sign of a busy season to come. Now here's Invest Area 92L in the Caribbean Sea, and you can see here really easily that the energy is stretched out over a large area. What we have are strong upper level winds coming in this way, and then you've got this high pressure trying to come down out of the Midwest with a front, and the winds going that way along the east side, and then blowing in from the northeast on the north and west side, and then southwest winds coming in this way. It's a big mess, and it's not conducive for development of 92L, more than just a stretched out system. Here's a visible satellite shot. You can clearly see maybe one chunk of energy here, another lobe of energy up in the Gulf of Mexico, not consolidating, not bundling the energy around a common area of low pressure. And you can even see that on the University of Wisconsin vorticity chart. It is more like a shark fin sitting out here than it is a round ball like Aaron is over in the eastern Atlantic. So this is a great example. Here is an area of well-formed vorticity in the lower levels of the atmosphere, and this is an area of not well-formed vorticity. And I think that's going to be the case for this system. It'll stay stretched out. We might see sort of an oblong-shaped system eventually consolidate here off the coast of Louisiana, maybe bringing some squally weather to the central Gulf Coast states this weekend, but nothing very well organized, no tropical storms or hurricanes. I won't say no tropical storm because the waters are certainly very warm down there, and it wouldn't take much organization, even for half a day, for this thing to try to consolidate right before it would come ashore. So just be on the lookout for that down along the Gulf Coast, but nothing suggests that this could become strong enough to warrant any grave concern for Gulf Coast residents. We'll keep an eye on it nonetheless. You've got some excellent tracking tools with Hurricane Pro and HD, so take advantage of those and track everything right along with us and everybody else. All right, well, that's it for today. Again, I am Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, my site. Always a privilege and an honor to do these videos for you on Hurricane Pro and HD. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another post for you.